And other than that, they're just tough leather boots. So we'll see how they break in.
The packs will also take some breaking in. The straps are thin, there's no padding, and the wooden frames are awkward.
Yep, it's not touching. Oh, it's not bad. I think I can do it. It's not the more stable pack, but...
Although it's June, there's snow in the mountains, so they're carrying snowshoes and cargo sleighs.
This is a sled that the pioneers would have carried to get them over the top of the summit there and use it in the snow. So we'll see how much snow we encounter at the top. We'll see how if they end up coming in handy or not.
Which on which side?
It looks like if you put this on the inside so that this thing, it would be perfecter. It would be perfecter. I'm on. Wow. I look a little bit frowny, but this is a big wow, man. I can't believe I'm actually here and going for this kind of punishment on purpose. All for the love of money.
That, however, is what the gold rush was all about. Some came for love, others to escape punishment, but everybody came for money.
Off for one! Let's do it.
The first leg of the trail is from Dyea to Canyon City, about 8 miles. The summit of the pass is only another 9 miles away. But it's the climb, through the rainforest, across the boulder fields, and up the golden staircase, not the distance, that made the Chilkoot a legend. Despite its beauty, the Chilkoot is a trail of curses, carrying the loads of backbreaking chore. The team will ferry the 3,000 pounds of supplies in stages, with drop points set up every couple of miles. When most of the supplies are moved, the main camp will leapfrog ahead. It's a grinding process.
Feels like it's time for a little bit of water. It's a little thirsty, but other than that, no problem. Pack's rubbing on my back a little bit, but other than that, it's not bad at all.
Bastian?
Yeah.
And you? How are you?
Pretty good. It's pretty strange for the back and here a little bit, but should be all right. Yeah.
Might have to quit smoking.
Yeah. I don't think it's make a difference for my back.
In 1897, a river of men like Rick and Sebastian struggled over this trail. Of the 100,000 who began, less than a third actually made it to Dawson City. Like most women of that time, Andrea runs the camp, and job one is to get rid of extra weight. She's a no-nonsense sort who came on the quest despite her husband's objections.
My husband thinks I'm crazy. Secretly, I think it's because he wanted to do it, because it wasn't very nice when we parted ways when I left. But I haven't had an argument with anyone in a week. I applied for this because I wanted to prove to myself that I can actually do it. I've always thought I was a pretty little house on the prairie-ish, you know? And I think I wanted to know if I can take it, you know? And I already said, I want to go home.
The original stampeders hired local Tlingit natives to help carry their loads.
Staff, a big stick. Oh, sweet pie.
The present-day expedition also has some help.
Do you want me to hold that up?
3 packers have joined the team.
Oh, okay.
Ron Chambers is an experienced bush
What are you
guide.
doing over there, Ron?
Ralph James and Ron Atlin are descendants of Gold Rush packers.
My great-grandfather was one of the chiefs on the Chilkoot during the Gold Rush, and my grandfather on my mother's side was a Northwest Mounted policeman. So with that kind of a background, I thought it was a great opportunity for me to see what they were seeing back when.
I'm a full-blooded Tlingit. My Tlingit name is Tlenafiev, which means Lone Crow, and I'm of the Crow clan, the Iskiton, since both of my grandfathers have packed over here. So I thought it'd be a very wonderful opportunity to retrace their steps, which would be a great honor for me.
My Indian name is Kashkok. It means, in Tlingit, it means man who sits down quick.
The Tlingit of 1897 sat down whenever they wanted. They were a powerful tribe of warriors who controlled the Chilkoot trade for centuries. As the tent cities of Chechako sprang up, the Tlingit saw the opportunities. Tappan Adney, a journalist for Harper's Magazine, was sent from New York to cover the gold rush. He soon learned to respect the Tlingit.
They do nothing without a price. If one engages them and someone offers them more, they lay down their packs and take up new ones, or they stop and strike for higher wages.
A gold rush breakfast, porridge and campfire coffee. Hunger was common on the trail. Scurvy and starvation followed the stampeders. This team has enough food, but only just. For 22-year-old Dave Delnia, eating less will be a new experience.
I thought we made that clear last night there.
Actually, dinner smelled quite a bit better.
That's something I never expected coming into this, that I'd be hungry. And because my whole life has been, you know, I've always had food. Like it's been a given, and I think I kind of realized for the first time that like not everybody nowadays has that, and a lot of people back then, like that was a fact of life, was hunger.
And they must be careful with the food they do have.
To keep the bears away by doing this?
Oh, yeah. Big part of it, too. Keep all the food out of camp. Don't want any food odors around us at all.
And is this bear country here?
This is big-time bear country. Grizzlies and black bear.
So are you going on the trail today?
I'm going on the trail, and I'm going to carry shovels and buckets and go see, so then when they come back all tired, I can appreciate their toil.
Andrea has it right. Crossing the Chilkoot is toil. Generations of Tlingit women used this trail. During the gold rush, about 1,000 southern women crossed it. If they made it over, they called themselves Skookum, tough and strong. They had to be.
Man, it was tough, wearing 2 wool socks, inside rubber boots, with wool underwear. Well, I have a cotton liner, like a cotton sort of bloomer inside a wool bloomer underneath my skirt. And do I ever miss my own ginch, I tell ya.
The packers are also toiling. Their great-grandfathers were paid by the pounds carried. 100-pound packs were common. Like the rest of the team, Ralph and Ron are carrying half that.
It's always hard starting in the morning. The first one.
You build up a lot of physical strength when you're doing this. Your legs and your arms. You win mostly.
There's 5 of us, and we have 3 packers helping us out. And we'll see how that goes. They made their first trip up there today, so they should be getting back in a minute. It's probably going to be about 60 loads of 60 loaded packs each time we move. So it's a lot of trips back and forth.
No, I just got the one blister. One big blister.
Is that right? Look at mine. Yeah. And then I got one coming in there too.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't even look at my heels.
That one's not bad.
I think my heels are bad though.
Blister, blister. Oh, it's a little exaggerated because I got pink lint all over everything, but oh, sorry, a lady doesn't do that.
Anything that delays them is a problem. If they fall behind schedule, their supplies won't last. They must push forward. But on the afternoon of day 2, they take a step backwards. Joe Bishop stabs himself.
How big is it? Probably if you double that up. I don't know.
The production company has provided an experienced guide to help with emergencies. This is an emergency.
Holy shit. No, we're going into town for that one.
Yeah, I can see the tendon.
The exposed tendon means a trip to the hospital.
Doing 2 things at once with a sharp object isn't a smart thing. As long as the fingers move. First thing I did was to make sure I could move it because I was worried about guitar playing.
I've never seen that before.
I cut myself today with a knife, and I was quite surprised when we were going into town to get the stitches. Having that feeling of, even though we've only been working together as a team for 2 days, I already felt like I was going back into the dressing room and getting pulled off that team effort that was happening.
We looked at it, you can see the tendon.
Joe was lucky. His tendon was not damaged, but the team wasted half a day waiting for his return.
Oh, I don't think I did.
Yeah, you can move everything.
But yeah, you can see the fibers. And
nice white.
Yeah, exactly. The great thing about it is my feet don't hurt anymore.
Yeah, this is the one and only time I've met in your sweaty socks.
It's like day 2.
The sun used to make our out...
I'm a basket case already, and I'm just barely holding it together to these people, and I'm supposed to know everything, and I don't, totally do not. Last night I burnt dinner, and I had to feed these guys who just worked like 6-8 hours on the trail, packing 60 pounds there and then coming back in the dusky of the evening. And what do they get when they get home? They got some crabby losing it chick with burnt rice. Yikes! This is real life. If this was 100 years ago, I wouldn't even have got off the boat, I tell you. Money ain't worth it.
Esther Lyons did get off the boat, but soon shared Andrea's despair.
Each of us had to carry a load. They made mine as light as possible, but it soon seemed heavy. I am ashamed to confess I oftentimes wanted to cry. I was so tired.
Yep.
You stay, I go.
We're just going to go on a rotating basis, or we're going to go on...
Well, we could do that, you know, so that one person...
On the morning of the
one
third
person
day,
cooks and one
there's
person
another
eats,
setback.
and we just switch like that.
Dave can barely walk.
But you are no good if you can't walk. So you need to take time with your feetsies and get better.
They must move about 15 loads a day. Joe's injury slowed them, and with Dave out of action, Ron Chambers is worried about the delays.
Back end. Remember you said we had to have somebody with food?
Yeah.
We all don't have to be here. We can maybe have a couple guys sit up there and work that back end, remember? The relay?
We should probably aim at that. Or even...
We should look at it. I mean, just play with these scenarios and pick the one that works for us.
This one is...
You're still limping, hey?
Oh yeah, they're just really like, the blisters are just swollen up over the night, so we'll pop them and
Pretty well every rock you look into.
get my feet ready to go for the rest of the day. We started off at a pace that isn't sustainable, and it's hard to stay excited and in good spirits when you're tired like that. But the biggest problem is it's not a stamina issue as much as it is just a pain tolerance issue.
3 cups of beans.
Before this journey began, the team had never met.
Cups of water.
During the gold rush, strangers often banded together, something that wasn't always
We
easy.
get to Dawson, Andrew might not want to cook anymore, so we might have to learn how. She might be down at the hotel, making money, making real money.
Bombay piggies, working my gold mine.
None of this cooking, cleaning, just for a free ride.
It ain't free.
Well, in exchange for traveling with the most successful mining team that ever went over the Chilkoot.
That's right.
Way to toot your own horn there, Rick.
Speak again, old toothless wonder, eh?
We're coping. We're tolerating each other. We're not, by any stretch of the imagination, in my mind anyways, bonding. I know I'm not bonding. Well, that's probably just me.
One of the items going over the pass is a sewing machine. Rick has agreed to carry it.
Oh, yeah?
So what do you figure that weighs, Rick?
Oh, it's not that heavy. I'd say 20 pounds, 20.
That's classic.
Yeah, this is a gem. I don't know how many gold miners would have brought a sewing machine in.
In fact, lots of gold miners did. Being a seamstress was one of the few ways for a woman to make her living. It's important to Andrea that the sewing machine reach Dawson City. It's also time to begin moving the knockdown boat, a tough chore. Joe has volunteered to make it his.
Is there any particular method to carry boats over mountains?
We're learning that pretty well every step along the way. The big thing to remember is because it's so wide and it's so high that it gets caught up in branches, and when we're going through the narrow parts of the rocks, everything's getting caught up.
The Tlingit used to say only white men were crazy enough to carry boats over mountains. After this long day on the trail, Joe Bishop would probably agree.
Missed. Oh. So those old photos that you see of the people standing beside the trail, and they're just kind of beat up, I've got a totally new appreciation of what they're going through. And these packs are so uncomfortable, you don't want to take them off because it's an ordeal putting them back on. So this seems to be the best way to rest.
So I can understand why they wanted to do it, to get rich, to get gold. But why do you want to do this?
It sounded fun at the time. It sounded like it would be interesting. And I think it will be at the end, but right now it's just a pure challenge, just to get it up and deal with. It's the pain that's the worst thing on the feet. And that's it. Where I think our emotions change every day. It's only day 4. And we already feel like the novelty is over. It's just a daily grind now.
Maybe I would bring 1 or 2 matches with me.
It's hard not to like Sebastian. Each day is a new adventure. On this day, he's learning to smoke the pipe.
Yeah, yesterday night I had the first real
good one.
Yeah, it was like a big
Just imagine all the matches you wasted.
Yeah.
As the least experienced member of the team, he's worried that if food gets short, the others might leave him behind. So he pushes hard.
had a good sleep, but I dreamed all night that I was packing. So I hope I will not do these dreams every night. I was thinking that I was napping on the trail, so when I was wake up, I was truly thinking that I was in the trail somewhere, and yeah, it was kind of funny.
Okay, who's on the boat? Who's going to do the boat?
Sebastian and Joe are going to start out on the boat.
Sebastian. Okay.
Yeah.
Think he's strong enough for it?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he seems fairly wired.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's pretty tough for a young guy, so he's doing good.
Dave is also pretty tough for a young guy. With the boat on the trail, it's a day for pictures, despite his injuries.
Blisters are fine. The one I had on the bottom of my foot's totally healed, and the one on my right Achilles is just a scab, but sort of a minor concern. I'm more focused on the actual tendons.
How you doing, Sebastian?
Oh, perfect, man.
Right on. Let's keep going then.
Many Klondike teams had boats like this. The midsection weighs about 200 pounds, and there's only one way to move it, the old-fashioned way, sweat and bruises.
Damn. Do you think people are strong enough today? Do you think the life we live makes us weak?
In some senses, yes, yes. I mean, if you're looking at compared to our ancestors, yes. Compared to them, I think our life is a little bit too easy.
If you guys can see me over here. Yeah. So this is the section of trail that I want to get the shot from. So yeah, see how you feel. If you feel like you can hold it and sort of, you know, because you're gonna kind of have to pose a little bit, like hold still, so I can get the shot. If you feel like you can hold it, hold it. If you feel like you just need to set it down and have one hand on it, that's fine too. Okay, you guys can hold her anywhere there.
Okay. Place to have a photograph here.
Yeah, that's why the most awkward spot for a photo.
I just fall under the boat.
How is it just having a boat there?
Sebastian. And you don't want it smiling, right? That's the deal.
Everybody ready? Hold still, please.
A century ago, the Harper's Magazine reporter Tappan Adney also brought his camera.
Everybody, no matter how dirty or tired, would give any price for a photograph to send back home. The men imagined their friends would be amused to see them begrimed, unshaven, and muddy.
Adney also liked to photograph the Tlingit and respected their traditional ways. He knew that in the north, experience can save your life. A century later, the rule still holds.
You didn't say anything about walking a bear through here, did you?
A bear has blocked the trail. Ron Atlin and Ron Chambers have faced this situation many times.
Pretty neat. He's walking up the trail ahead of us like he's leading us up the trail.
It's his trail.
Yeah, it's his trail.
What? Where are you going?
Hey. Oh no, it made him turn around and come back.
Was he challenging us there? Or are we too close to him?
I think so. Maybe. Back up the trail now. Yeah, keep going. That's the way. There, he's going now again. Let's just stay there and talk with him. That's what I do. And I try to make myself higher up than them. I just told him I'm not here to hurt you. I know it's your territory. I tell him I'm just using this trail, same as you.
Day 6. Andrea is moving to a place called Canyon City, where she'll set up the kitchen while the men ferry the gear. she will be there alone.
Things are always twisty.
What's a Canyon City?
Right now, not much, but by tonight it'll be Andrea and the tent and the stove and hopefully enough food to get it through till tomorrow.
Are you at all concerned about being alone in the bush, in the heart of grizzly country?
I'm actually secretly looking forward to having a little testosterone-free time, actually.
It would probably be a less painful death than packing the stuff over the pass.
Many dreams died at Canyon City. The trail climbs steeply from here. It's where Gold Rush stampeders lighten their loads. Even today, the bush is littered with second thoughts. Esther Lyons.
Here, we found many so-called miners. Greed for gold had urged them on, yet at the first real hardship, they turned back. I, a woman, looked on these miserable human beings with pity, almost with disgust.
Getting to Canyon City will be the first real progress the team has made, so the men push forward quickly. Andrea can't keep up and soon falls behind. More and more, she is becoming isolated.
I haven't cried yet today, but I cried yesterday. I've almost cried every day since I've been here. Anyways, I love everybody. And I miss my dog. I miss lots of things, but you get used to it after a while. Oh, these granny boots. If I make it over the summit, I'm gonna have them bronzed.
Canyon City. Work days are long in the land of the midnight sun, and this day is not over yet.
This is for you.
Andrea is tired, but the team is hungry, and the cook tent will soon be ready.
You can do your thing. Maybe we'll heat up some food.
I guess that's my thing. It's not like I'm sitting at home doing nothing all day long. I'm looking after the stuff, I'm battening down the hatches for when it rains, I'm airing out the blankies. Well, I aired out their blankies once and they didn't seem to like me going in their tent, so I'm not gonna do that anymore. If they got clothes on the ground, I'd hang them up. It's just trying to make the guys more comfortable when they're torturing themselves. I know it's hard work. I know they're all in pain and I know they're all hungry, but get over it.
Day 12. Joe's injury is almost healed. He makes his living playing the guitar, and the cut has worried him. In 1897, life on the trail became the stuff of folk tales. A century later, Joe Bishop turns his experiences into songs.
I didn't know I could do that.
You were uncharacteristically quiet there.
Yeah.
I think of songs as I'm walking down, kind of get that rhythm happening as you're walking down the trail. And here's a song that I made up one night, walking back after dropping off a load, and it goes like this. Had to climb a mountain, meaner than a sin. Had to climb a mountain, meaner than a sin. Had to climb a mountain, meaner than a sin. Where Jesus is forsaken, the devil is your only friend. Busted and bleeding, blinded by snow. Busted and bleeding, blinded by snow. Busted and bleeding,
blinded by snow. Gonna be a rich man with my pockets full of gold.
I used to have sounded like a loon.
The move from Dyea is almost finished. It's a distance of 8 miles. But due to the many loads carried, they've actually walked 20 times that.
We're here. We made her.
So how was it?
Pretty hard. Yeah.
How much of the camp did you get moved?
How much?
Of the camp? Is it camp?
The tent, all our bedrolls. Just the stuff to sleep, it's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's still 4 load for us tomorrow, so we have to go back at Dyea and come back tomorrow.
One more load tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, you hungry?
Yeah. Yeah.
At Canyon City, the rainforest ends and the coastal mountains begin. This means Rick Unruh can finally dig out his gold pan.
What do you think, Sebastian? Gold is power. I mean, you look at all the kings and, you know, the pharaohs and everything. I mean, gold was a symbol of status. Anybody can do it. You don't need a lot of money to do it. It's simple equipment, like as simple as a pan and a shovel. It's just you go out in the morning and you know what you've got. And it's hard won.
Rick's gold fever still burns. Not all the stampeders who made it here felt that way. Tappanatney.
Everyone is discouraged, wet, and tired. It is no wonder most of them regret having started. It is every man for himself. There is no common interest.
For the men of the modern-day expedition, there is a common interest.
I think the first order of business
they are hungry, and they are all angry at Andrea.
I think if we go straight to the cheese, it's the food issue and the amount of food we're getting or we're allowed, and where the food is. So I guess that goes to you, Andrea, because for us, I think food is really important if we're going to be putting in these 12 and 14-hour days.
You want more food? I can give you more food, but we might run out.
Yeah, we want more food. The more food we can eat, just the stronger we're going to become, because the trail's just going to get harder as we go.
From the packing end of it, we're using a ton of energy, and we need that energy resupplied.
As soon as I started saying rules, everybody got their hackles up. I don't want to have rules. I'm starving. I'm working really hard. I'm working 18 hours a day. I don't think I should have to worry about food. So fine, I make you food, what I think is a lot. And you're still saying you're hungry. And you're ripping through the sugar, and we're going to run out of sugar before you even get to the summit. And then you're going to be sorry on the other side and thinking I'm the big meanie because I'm just feeding you lima beans with nothing. So what do you want? You want me to ration you right now and feed you good along the way?
Well,
Not enough?
I don't think
or you can pig out right now and be starving in 2 months.
On the Great Klondike Trail, 2 months is a lifetime. Ahead lie the boulder fields and the back-breaking climb up the Golden Staircase. Crossing the Chilkoot is like gambling with the gods. The team must be strong, and they must be lucky.
Welcome to the Gold Prospector Show. My name is George Massey. I'm a gold miner. I've been mining for about 25 years, and I'm the host of the show. Also, the show is sponsored by the Gold Prospectors Association of America, which I'm proud to be a member. This week, we're going to take you out to the commercial operation to GPAA's camp 12 miles west of Nome, Alaska, where a group of members go out and mine for gold every year. And we're going to take a look at the commercial part of that operation. But first, let's take a short break, and we'll tell you about our association, then we'll come back, and then we'll take off and go clear to Nome, Alaska, or at least outside of Nome, Alaska, where that they're mining for gold, and take a look at what the Gold Prospectors Association members are doing out there with their large commercial operation. West of Nome, Alaska is a place called Cripple River. There's 2,000 acres there. It's kind of a conservatory of very rich mining property that's patented land. It's private land, and the Gold Prospectors Association, through Global Resources, has acquired that land, and each year a whole group of members go up there and they recreational mine or do their small mining on the beach and inland at their camps and stuff, but they also have set up there, they have a large commercial operation. Now, every member that goes up there gets an equal split off of it, and all of them have to work a portion of the time that they're on that trip on this commercial operation. And by that I mean it's a mechanized operation. It's fed by, they doze the material up, and then they lift it into the hopper with a front loader, and they process the material, and they separate the gold out, and the water goes through some circulating ponds and stuff. And it's really interesting. Each member gets a hands-on experience, and they also get a share of the gold. But we're going to go up there and take a look at it and see just exactly how it's done, and take you all the way through it. So let's go up to Nome, or at least 12 miles west of Nome, which is really primitive. Watch out for the grizzly bears. We're going to go out there and do some commercial mining with the GPAA members just outside of Nome, Alaska. Well, here we are out here at the common operation for the Gold Prospectors Association of America. Well, what we've got a common operation here at Cripple River in Alaska where we run fairly heavy equipment, and guys all split the gold. We're working the bench that you see back up here behind us. And it seems like the further up the bench we get, the better the gold is. We're working a ancient beach layer, and it's been reconcentrated by the river running through it. So we've got both river gold and we've got beach gold up here on this bench. And if you'll just turn right around here, I'll show you what we do with it. We push it up with the cat, and then we take the loader and we dump it in the hopper, and then the guys slurry the material, so we get a real good slurry of the material even before it goes into the screen deck. And there's a lot of us out here working, and I guess we're having fun. We're getting some pretty good gold, but the material's slurried, then it goes into our screen deck, our vibrating screen, and then down to a series of sluices. And then if you look right down here, what you see is our pre-settling pond. We have a pre-settling pond where that starts our sediment settling out. Then it goes into our main settling pond, which is the one over here that you're looking at here. And then from there, the water runs back into our final settling pond. And from this pond, it's pumped back up into the operation. So we have a totally enclosed recirculating system. We only take some water out of the river to get the thing started and charged, and then it's totally recirculating. So environmentally, we're not adding anything at all to the river, and all of our turbidity is settled out before we start. And that's some of the things that we teach the guys out here at the common operation. We call it for the Gold Prospectors Association. Every guy has to put in his time on it, and every guy gets an equal split of gold, and we've been doing pretty good. This is Perry Massey over here. He's our mining engineer. I see you got a #2 shovel, Perry. You're getting your exercise today.
Well, we're doing pretty good today. We've picked out some nuggets out of the sluice already, and this morning when we shut down, and everybody's really happy. We got one nugget, it's about 2 pennyweights, and everybody smiled about that one.
Yeah, I bet they did. Well, I was telling them that what we got up here is we've got an ancient beach layer that's been reconcentrated by river action.
Right.
And I assume that you'll confirm that for me.
That's what we're looking at up here. We've got a nice layer of good beach gravel up here, and it's just laced with gold, and it has larger pieces in it, and we're real happy with it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I saw some big smiles there yesterday. We got a whole bunch of nuggets yesterday in it, too.
Yeah.
I'll take you over to the gold room a little bit later on, and we'll show you how the table works and what we do with the concentrates. But right now, we're going to go over, and I'm going to get the guys to shut down, and we'll take a look at what kind of gold we're getting. But again, let me review for you what we're doing. We're pushing the material from the old bench layer up with the cat, and then we're taking the loader, and we load it into the hopper. Now, we could probably replace these two guys on top with a spray bar, but it gives everybody a chance to actually work on the operation and become involved in it. And it's a pretty simple and pretty small operation as far as commercial operations go. How many yards an hour are we running here?
I'd say we're running somewhere between 15 to 20 yards an hour, something like that.
15 to 20 yards, and a bigger operation, they run 150, 200 yards an hour. But we could probably handle that if we had a little bigger screen.
We could handle more yardage. It's just we got pretty rich ground here, and we don't really want to open up too much, and I think we're doing pretty good the way we're going right now.
Yeah, we're going to get everybody some nuggets this year.
That's right.
On the table, we're running a lot of fine gold. So I think what we'll do is we'll get out of the way here and let the tractor come in and dump some more material. And then we'll go down and we'll shut the water off, and we'll get the guys to take a look in the sluice box.
All right.
Is there anything you want to tell them about our screen deck or anything here before we...
Basically, our screen deck, material comes in, there's a grizzly on top, the rocks get bounced off the top of the grizzly and get washed off by the spray. Then it bounces off into our tailing chute and then gets raked off.
Now, all these guys that you see working here with the GPAA, these guys, they just started out this year. They're not, they're involved in a real commercial operation, but they're from all over. I think the one guy there's from Phoenix, and John there, he's from Seattle, and we got a couple other guys from Michigan. So they're just down there working and having a good time, and there's about 75 of us that's involved in it this week. Right. So we got 75 ways to split the gold, but you're going to get us 75 nuggets off the operation, aren't you?
Well, if we continue the way we are, we should have more than that.
Last year, and typically what we get is we get, sometimes we get a nugget or two, and then we get about 5 pounds of concentrates, and I'll show you all about that a little bit later, but let's get out of the way and let the loader operator dump in some more dirt. Okay, I got Bob Clem here, and Bob Clem, he's our sluice foreman. You were here last year, and he's kind of showing the other guys how things are going. How are we doing in the sluice, boss?
We're doing great this year, George. We've been picking out real good-sized nuggets.
Good-sized nuggets,
Good-sized nuggets. Eraser size and bigger.
Eraser size and watermelon seed.
Watermelon seed.
You always hear those stories about watermelon seed nuggets, so maybe we'll get a few of them. I got old Jesse back here. Jesse's our good luck piece. Hey, Jesse. Jesse, why don't you come over here? We won't talk to you in camera. I want to show everybody out there on the GPAA show what a good charm looks like, because every time I've ever mined with Jesse, we've gotten good nuggets, haven't we, Bob?
Right. Give me another rub, Jesse.
Now tell us, Jesse, why is that? Why do you bring good luck?
I know.
We got some pretty good ones, didn't we? The only thing you guys are leaving for me over there in the cleanup room are them little bitty ones. Yeah. They're picking all the nice ones out here.
As soon as we shut this muddy water off today, George, I think we'll have a better day today than we've had the last 3 days.
Well, how many nuggets have you picked out already, Bob?
We got 7, 8, 13.
13 today?
I don't know how many today.
And how many yesterday?
13.
13? And you don't know how many?
13 today.
You already got 13 today?
25, 28.
And you got that big one? Yeah. Maybe we can get Perry to bring it over and show it to us after a while.
Perry got it?
Yeah, they give everything to that mining engineer, but these guys look like you're keeping them busy, Jesse.
Yeah.
You were here last year on the operation, weren't you? Yeah, and Bob was here, and you guys are getting these new guys, getting them broke in right.
We had the fun of setting this operation up last year, George.
Yeah. Well, we got Jesse and Bob. Where are you from, Jesse?
Bakersfield.
Bakersfield, California, and you're from Phoenix, Arizona, Bob? Okay, well, all the people out there in Phoenix, Arizona, and Bakersfield, California that are watching the Gold Prospector show, hello, huh?
Hello, guys.
We're going to kill the pump and take a look in the box. And hopefully we'll maybe find some gold in there, Jesse. Give us a little rub here, huh?
Yeah. Already showing up.
I see one laying there. Well, one of you guys want to pick them out and lay them up there, and maybe we can get a... God, we've been running some pretty good material, huh?
Just rains down a little bit.
John, how's that thing been working up there? Pretty good, that test that you've been running up there with this blanket? Huh?
Yeah, we got 3 nice ones in there on the first run. And,
well, you guys just shut off not too long ago, didn't you?
Yeah, we cleaned up the nuggets when we changed pumps before.
Okay. Well, there I see 5 nice ones there. That's pretty good. Oh, that picked it out. Well, that's a really nice nugget there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take all this stuff and we're going to wrap it up and put it in our panning trays. And this is our concentrates, and then we're going to take that over to the other side and run it over the table and concentrate the gold out. This is some of the stuff you guys have been leaving for me over there, this little old chicken stuff. You know, it ain't near as big as the nuggets you're finding here, but we're finding some of that stuff over there that's too big to go through the screen, some of that little stuff. And it all adds up, and when we get all of the concentrates and everything together, it's going to be pretty good. You guys all happy with what you're finding over here?
yeah.
Huh?
There's nothing that compares with ripping those things up and seeing them.
There's nothing in the world, is there, huh?
Yeah.
Where's the guy that found the big nugget? You found the big nugget, didn't you?
I found the big one.
That one right there, you found it a while ago when they shut the water off?
Yeah.
Have you ever found one that big before?
Only once.
Only once, huh?
Only once.
Yeah. Well, that sure feels good when you find them. We're in some pretty good ground up there, and I think it's getting a little better. Maybe next week we can get a whole bunch more of them. And I really appreciate all the work you guys have done this week and it's paid off some. I think it's probably because of Lucky Jesse here. But anyway, if you guys want to roll that all up and put it in the concentrate pans, we'll take it over and we'll show the guys at home how we run the concentrates over there. And if any of you guys like to come over, and while I'm running, I'll be running tonight, and come in and watch the table run, you're sure welcome to do so, okay? Okay, I got something I want to talk to you about. For you guys that are members of the GPAA, and for those of you that haven't, I got a real special for you this week on the show. You know, we do a bit of mining out here. It's a commercial operation that we have, and all of the GPAA members participate or can participate in it, the ones that go to Alaska. But most of us are just do our small-scale mining. But I wanted to show you some of this larger stuff too, and I want to tell you about the Gold Prospectors Association. This kind of mining is beyond the reach of most individuals, and any time that you see a mining operation like this, they don't really want guys around, and they're pretty secretive, and you can't really blame them. But here at the Alaska trip, by golly, you're welcome, and you can learn a lot by seeing the larger equipment run and how it works and everything like that, and that's why we had it on the show this week. But most of the time we work with the smaller stuff, and I do myself. I get out on the weekends, and it's just a great hobby. The Gold Prospectors Association, ladies and gentlemen, has been a real rewarding thing to me, and I'd like to share that with as many people as I can. And they don't pay me. I'm a volunteer for the association. So let me tell you about it. You know, you've seen their commercial running for $24.50 or $24.95. You get the gold pan, the patch, the hat, and the membership card, and you're a member of the GPAA. You get the information. You can rub elbows with guys that do it for a living on a small scale, and some even larger operators and stuff like that. You can learn about how that mining is compatible with the environment today when it's done in its proper context, and why the little guy, the little prospector, needs a voice in Washington, D.C., so that in our environmental concerns we don't throw him out. You get a lot of things when you join GPAA for the $24.50, the gold pan, the membership card, the information service. You get invited to the outings. You get accessibility to trips like this, where that you're actually a part of the mining operation, and you get to come out and hands-on experience and stuff like that. And you also get to go on the outings where that they go out with the small dredges and the dry washers in the desert and things like that. There's also something else that you need to know. The biggest question that we get at GPAA is, where can I go? Where can I go mining? I'm not going to go all the way up to Alaska. I would like to go somewhere close to home. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Gold Prospectors Association solved that. There's a lot of places that you can go. There's places that the Forest Service, the BLM keep open for small-scale prospecting, areas that have been closed down to large-scale mining like you see here, but because of their environmentally sensitive, and they don't allow that sort of mining, but there's still a lot of gold, real rich deposits of gold in there, and with the experience and time involved, you can find them. I'm not going to kid you and tell you that you're going to go out on your first time and find a lot of gold, but you can after a while. I've been at it for 25 years, and I didn't know anything when I started, and neither does anybody else. You know, it doesn't take a long time to catch on, but it does take certain skills, and those skills you get through the Gold Prospectors Association. But let me tell you about how we've solved the problem of where you can go. The Gold Prospectors Association published the 1991 Gold Prospectors Mining Guide, and we have, each year we publish a guide on prospecting and mining. A lot of the properties in here are properties that are owned by individual members. They're mining claims. There are certain responsibilities. They're usually within the Forest Service or the BLM, and you need to get camping permits and things like that, or even mining permits where that you're going to go in with a suction dredge. The permits are listed in the guide. Most of the time they're free. In California, which is the state that I live in, we have claims all over the state. We have the Fish and Game regulates prospecting and mining just like they do hunting and fishing. You get a license and you pay a fee, and there's certain times of the year that you can go into the stream, and there's certain times of the year that you can't. And all of that whole guide of what time you can go into the streams and when you can't, and the permit forms and everything is listed right behind the California section. I also travel to other states like Arizona, New Mexico, and Idaho, and Montana, and Georgia, and Tennessee, and even to Alaska. That's where we're at now, and all of those areas are listed. All of the different states are listed. Let's just take one towards the back of the book here. This one here happens to be in Colorado, and that's the Pilgrim #1 claim. And you can drive to this claim. There's a four-wheel drive road that goes into it. There's a lot of claims on the areas on the Arkansas River that's open to prospecting, and the Arkansas River just loaded with gold, but the rafters use that river, and it's a real pristine river, and so there's no commercial mining. But the individuals can go in there for recreational type prospecting if they know where to go. A lot of the areas are claimed up, a lot of the areas are private, so you can't just go any place, but anything that's listed in our guide, you can go out and use, and chances are there's one right close to home for you. The guide costs $75, and it comes with free accident insurance. The accident insurance covers you up to $5,000. You know, a guy can mash a finger, or a lady can, you know, things can happen, so the accident insurance is necessary, and it's free. It comes with the guide. And it's really good. Now, I have a special for you, so just don't go to the phone and call in and order the guide yet, because I have a special for you. Also, with the guide, we publish a paper called the Pick and Shovel. Now, the Pick and Shovel comes out every other month, and it has information about new areas. It has information on there. We have a form in the back of the guide that asks you to fill it out every time that you go out and visit one of the properties. To get better directions to the property. If you used a sluice box, or you used a suction dredge, or used a dry washer, or a high banker, or maybe a metal detector, or whatever equipment that you used, and what kind of success that you had, and where you found. This helps the other fellows that are going out there. If you make a big discovery, and we're all looking for that, if you make a big discovery and you want to keep it to yourself, a lot of these properties are for lease, and you can lease them. But basically, you can use anything that's hand-fed and any recreational equipment and keep all the gold you find. And then if you want to start a commercial operation of your own, that's where that you're going to have to do a lot of study and get permits, and I'm not going to get into that, but that's available to you if you make a big discovery on one of the properties. There's something else with the special, and let me tell you that the membership is $25, $24.50. The guide is $75, and both of them together comes to over $100. We have a special, a TV special called the Buzzard Special, because I'm on talking about the club and telling my friends, and you're all my friends. I hope one of these days that you and I get a chance to go prospecting together. I'm up in Alaska, but I make all of the outings for GPAA, and I live down in California in the wintertime, and I've just got a real wonderful life, and so I get to go out and do all these things, and I hope that maybe you can get out with us sometime with the GPAA. Let me tell you that something else that we have with the special is a panning video. We have a panning video on panning. I used to think I was a real good panner till I saw Blueberry John pan. He can take the gold pan, and this is the same one that you get with the GPAA. This is the one's got my name in it here, and he can take that gold pan and just make it bounce. He's got what we call the blueberry bounce. Just make the gold walk right up the side of the pan. Then he takes his sucker bottle and just sucks it out. I'll show you some of how to do that when we get back to the hooch and I get done with the mining out here that we're doing. But the panning video is an hour long. It's got speed panning on it. It's got all of the experts that are doing different kinds of things with their panning. They show all different kinds of pans, from copper pans to these new gravity trap Garrett pans, and the Keen pan with the Chinese riffle, and they show them all, and it shows you how to use them, and it's really an excellent panning video. It sells for $29.95. So you get the Pick and Shovel newspaper, you get the mining guide, you get the video, and of course you get the gold pan and the magazine, the Gold Prospector magazine, which is chock full of information. You get that and all of that information, a patch for your jacket, a membership card, a nice hat. Those hats sell for about $6. It's got Gold Prospectors Association on it. And all of that you get for the about $130. But if you call in during the show and tell them you want the Buzzard Special, you can get the whole thing Now that's really quite a deal, and I know you've been thinking about doing some prospecting, and now's the time for you to get involved in it because it really is a great hobby. When you think about it, you have a chance to get some gold. It may be slim, but you've got a chance to get some. Less than 5% of the available gold has ever been out. You certainly will get some exercise, and you'll have a lot of fun. It's a reason to get out there where the air is clean in God's country and get a little gold, and we really would like to have you as a member of the GPAA. We need your voice to help us keep the lands open for prospecting so that they don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. And so we'd like to get you involved in GPA, but you need to call right now. You need to get up and call, and I know that's a hard thing to do. I'm not a very good salesman. I'm a prospector and a hard-working stiff all my life, and I really enjoy mining, and I've hit a couple of big pockets in my life, and I hope you do. And I know that any time that somebody tries to sell me something, I have a hard time with that. But you got to get up and call right now to get that special, because if you just write in normally, you'll pay $75 for the guide and $25 for the membership and another $30 for the video, and I'll throw in a sucker bottle if you tell them that it's the Buzzard sucker bottle special on this show, and we'll throw in one of those sucker bottles because they're really handy. You really need one of them, but you got to get up and call. Call that 800 number. There's some prospectors down there waiting to take your call. They're all volunteers too for the GPAA because we really like what we're doing. We like to share it with people, and we don't want to see the art lost, the art of prospecting and mining. And we want to bring more focus to it so that people know that there are people out there that just enjoy going out and poking around with their metal detectors and their magnifying glasses and their gold pans and their picks and shovels looking for gold. And if you're one of them, get up and call us, because we'd love to have you in the association, and by golly, you'll get full benefit of it, and maybe you and I get a chance to go mining. Be sure and attend those outings, fellas. If you guys are members, you're already members of the association, be sure and attend those outings, because you'll learn a lot and we'll have a lot of fun. That way we'll get to meet each other. And we have about 6 or 7 outings, a bunch of gold shows. By the way, the gold shows that the association puts on is a great place to sell your gold when you do find some, because you can get 2 or 3 times the spot price for any kind of flake or coarse gold. And nuggets, of course, bring more than that. They make jewelry out of them and things like that. And booth space at our trade shows are free to members selling their gold that are non-commercial. If you're commercial, you pay for exhibit space. But if you're just a working stiff prospector out there selling his gold, well, then the booth exhibit space is free to you. So well, let's get back to mining here, and I'll see you over at the hooch. We'll get going and get some more gold out of the ground.
The average American household has nearly $8,000 in credit card debt. If you make only the minimum payments and have high interest rates, it could take you 47 years to pay them off. That's a scary thought. You can stop living in fear and get help. Call In Charge Debt Solutions. In Charge is a nonprofit credit counseling service. Our trained and certified counselors can discuss your options to get you out of debt and put you back in charge of your life. We work with creditors nationwide to reduce your interest rates and lower your monthly payments, helping you pay off your debt faster and more affordably than you could on your own. In Charge can stop the collection calls and design a solution that's right for you. Stop living in fear. Call today to get back in charge of your life.
Everyone's talking about the new Realtree road trips.
Hello.
Waddell has set a new standard in outdoor television.
There goes one right there.
Road Trips has put the fun back into hunting shows. Family entertainment at its finest. A show you can't turn off. The only reality hunting show out there. The 3rd season premieres this July, exclusively on the Outdoor Channel. What'll they do next?
Well, this is the gold room. This is where we do our cleanup. The concentrates from the sluice boxes that you saw on the other side are carried over here in 5-gallon buckets. And they're brought over here, and here's where I spend a lot of my time doing the cleanup for the guys, so that we get the fine gold cleaned up and we get all the nuggets picked out that they miss over there when they open the thing up. Of course, they pick out the ones that they can see, but there's a lot of others that gets washed down in the concentrates and brought over here. Basically, the way we clean up is that we use a Goldfield table. Now this is a Spartan design on the table, and by that it uses an impact to bring the heavies and separate the heavies from the lights. We can control the feed of the hopper, and the thing that really makes our table work is that we have a metered feed. In other words, we can meter the amount of material that goes into our vibrating sizing screens. We have a vibrating sizing screens, and we can not only control the water on our screen, but we can also control the vibrations. And in this, we have a series of screens that sizes the material that goes onto our table. Anything over 10 mesh goes down through our nugget trap. And that's where we catch the coarse gold and the flake gold. The finer gold we can catch by putting it on the table. And on this side of the table we get the 30 mesh, and on the other side of the table we get the 100 mesh gold. I'll show you some of the gold that we're getting, and I'll also give you a chance to take a look at how the table's working for us. This is part of our common operation here at Cripple River for the GPAA guys that come up. And basically, as the gold comes down, it comes down these two lines here, our heavies does, and that's separated out in our number ones. Our number twos come off into what we call our middlings, and then of course our tails come out here. And what we're doing here with our tails is that we're running our tails into a bucket, and then we reintroduce them to the machine and run them the second time. And so it's a pretty efficient piece of equipment because we can just keep it running all the time. We clean up our common operation, our commercial operation once a day, and then we bring the material over here, and I have 2 or 3 guys that help me in the coal room of the GPAA fellows. Let me show you some of our gold that we're getting. This, of course, is the nuggets. You saw this one picked out of the box a little while ago, and we took them and we dumped them into a gold pan. And this is the ones that we got the first week here at Cripple River in a week of operation. And we've probably got 10 times this much in fine flour gold. Now, the reason we don't really know exactly at this stage how much we got is because the gold comes off into these little trays. If you look close, you can see the gold in with the black sand, and we're also getting a lot of garnets in with it, and you can see the gold in the black sand. But we've got maybe, 10 pounds of concentrate, and it's probably 25% gold. So we might have 4 or 5, maybe 10 ounces of gold in there. Last year we got around 100 ounces in the last 3 weeks, and this year looks a lot better because we're in a lot better ground. Let me show you in this pan what the stuff, the real fine gold looks like. And I'll just shake it up here a little bit because we don't separate it completely clean. We leave a little black sand in it, and you can see it's about 10% gold, and you can get the whole idea here how that real fine gold. And that's our money, by the way. We love to see nuggets, and everybody likes to take a nugget home with them. And with a little luck, everybody get 1 or 2 nuggets. But where we'll get our volume of gold is we'll get our volume of gold off our table and out of our fine gold. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into go back to the hooch, and I got a few other things I want to talk to you about, and I'm going to show you how we separate that fine gold out of there. But this is basically the way our gold room works. I'll go through it for you again. We bring our material over from our common operation in 5-gallon buckets, and we run it, we introduce it to the table. It's screened in a series of screens, and it runs over. We have our nugget trap, and then we have our impact table. We get our fine gold on that side and our larger gold on this side. It's fairly time consuming. We usually run about 6 to 7 hours a day in order to keep up with the common operation on the other side of the river. This machine is built by Goldfield Engineering. It uses the Spartan design. We also have an easy panner that we preliminary clean up with, and we use a poop tube down here on the end. Now basically what we're using the poop tube down here for is to make sure we don't lose any nuggets and to catch the garnets, because the guys like the garnets. So let's go back to the hooch now, and I'll show you some more stuff on what we're doing here and how we're running our common operation. And we're fairly small, even though we've got a totally recirculating area over there with our settling ponds. We don't take any water from the river. We don't add any to it. And it's totally recirculating, and it's environmentally a real clean mining operation. But it's really a small operation. We're only running 10 or 20 yards an hour, and I say small in comparison to some of the larger ones. It's large as far as the amount of material that we're running through it, but we're happy with the results that we're getting here right now. And let's go back to the hooch and I'll show you some more stuff.
There's nothing quite like the sound of gold. I've been metal detecting for over 30 years, and I still get a thrill digging up an old coin, a beautiful ring, or my favorite, a gold nugget. The new White's metal detectors make it easy. They show you what's in the ground.
Take your first step to finding treasure. Call the number on your screen to get rush delivery of your White's metal detector catalog. Discover the treasure you walk on every day.
You could pay for your metal detector with just one find. It's a great hobby for the young and the young at heart.
Call now.
It happened this winter. The largest storm to hit Nome, Alaska since the early 70s. The turbulent Bering Sea sucked massive amounts of sand and rock away from the tundra, depositing new gold and exposing old deposits that have never been worked. Nome and the Cripple River camp suffered damage but is still well in standing. This summer is the summer for you to take advantage of what could be one of the best years of beach prospecting in decades. The GPAA is hearing reports of over 100 specks of gold in 1 tablespoon in some concentrated areas. Beach prospecting at the Cripple River Mining Camp is one of the many activities people enjoy during their stay.
Got our first run, and looks pretty good.
Getting a lot more gold actually here.
Having a lot of fun. Yeah, find some gold too.
What we're doing is nothing like we've ever done before.
Give us a call and make your reservation. A $100 deposit is all you need to get your share of the fun, adventure, and gold.
Well, welcome back. You know, ladies and gentlemen, that operation that the Gold Prospectors has out there at Cripple River is really interesting. I brought some material back to the hooch here, to my humble abode, my cabin, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the black sand. You know, we develop a tremendous amount of concentrate, or what we call concentrate. We separate the nuggets, and we separate over the table that you saw, we separate out most of the visible gold. But what you didn't see on that table is the middlings that come off that table. It develops just a tremendous amount of black sand. And we divide that up with the guys as well. What happens with the black sand, there's a lot of gold in it. And you have a large particle of black sand and a very, very fine particle of gold. And it's really hard to separate that, because that black sand that we're getting off of that operation runs about 17 in specific gravity. The gold is 19. Water is 1. So that gives you an idea of what we're talking about. Well, if you reduce that particle size so that the black sand is the same size as the gold, then you can separate it. But when your particle size of your black sand is larger and your particle size of your gold is very small, so we divide that up. The guys take that home and they grind that up and reduce that particle size, and then they can separate a lot more gold out of it. Also, there's another thing that they do with it, and I'm going to show you in one of our upcoming shows, and that's how to take and use the heat method, because you can fire it and put some salt on it, and you can actually change and bring a lot of the gold, the invisible gold, back into the gold to where you can see it, and you can actually pan that out and use your sucker bottle, your sniffer bottle, to pull that gold out with. You know, the old timers out there used to go down in the wintertime, and they dig these shafts down, and I want to tell you a little bit about that. But before I do, I want to talk to you about the Gold Prospectors Association of America. Ladies and gentlemen, that's important to every prospector. I've been prospecting and mining for 25 years, and I know there's a lot of misconceptions out there about prospectors and miners, especially. All of us are environmentally conscious today, and most people got the idea that the prospector or miner just goes out there and rips the gold out of the bank, and that's not the case. We don't add any chemicals to the stream. We don't take any out of it. We're out there looking for gold. The country needs the wealth. If it's done properly, it's environmentally safe. And even your recreational dredges and stuff like that, there's a season for those. In our claims guide, you know, the claims guide that I was showing you, and we publish a newspaper that goes along with it, and all of the regulations are in there. If you, the times a year that you can be, it's regulated just like a fishing season, so that the guys are not in the stream. They're not dredging in the stream when the fish eggs are present. And that's about the only thing that they could do is cover up a few fish eggs with some silt. So if you keep the guys out of the river during that time, they actually have a positive effect on the fish, because they dredge the material up and loosen up the bottom and allow the crustaceans and the biological life that the fish feed on to grow to a lot larger depth. And the Fish and Game Department, especially in California, have done a real excellent job in regulating that. And all the new regulations and areas are in the Pick and Shovel newspaper. Now, the Pick and Shovel newspaper comes free to you with the claims guide, and it's really important that you get into the association. Let me explain something to you. When you join the GPAA for the $24.50, like you saw on the TV special, you get the gold pan. I have one here. You get the gold pan. You get the hat. You get the subscription to the magazine. You get a patch for your jacket, a membership card. You get the information service, and you get invited to a lot of our outings. And the magazine is worth more than the $24.50, and the gold pan sells for $12 or $14, and you get that free with your membership as well. The magazine is just chock full of information about prospecting and mining and where to go, and all different kinds of things, how to build your own equipment, the techniques that I talk about here on the Gold Show, on our prospecting show each week. All these techniques are explained in detail in our magazine. So it's really important that if you're into prospecting, that you get a hold of that. Let me tell you, I got a special for you this week. The guys that tune into the show, or the ladies that tune in that prospect for gold, if you're interested, there couldn't be a better time for you to get into the GPAA than right now, because old Buzzard here has got the Buzzard Special for you. That's my nickname. And you get around these mining camps, if you've been at it long enough, you'll probably be bestowed with the nickname yourself, because that's a really, it's kind of a badge that we wear. You know, you attain a certain level in prospecting, and pretty soon you have a nickname. But let me tell you what my special is, and you got to tell them when you call in that it's a prospector's, it's a Buzzard Special. Let me tell you what that special is. You get the claims guide. The claims guide is a thick book, and I showed it to you a while ago, and it comes with all of the different properties. There's about 500 of them that you can go to all over the country, and chances are there's one right close to you. The biggest question that I get that guys call in is, where can I go? You know, as I'm on private property, I'm on somebody's claim. Is this area open to prospecting, or is it a park? You know, there's certain areas that you can't go into, and there's certain times of the year that you can't go. All that information is in the claims guide, and you really need that. That's the guide to prospecting. Also with that comes the Pick and Shovel newspaper. Now, I talk about the claims guide all the time, but I haven't really told you the value of this newspaper. It gives you all the new claims, the listings, the new listings that come out, and the new regulations and phone numbers and things like that in that claims guide. Let's say you're going up to the Trinity National Forest. You're going there in August or September, and maybe you're traveling 200 or 300 miles to get there. Maybe it's back in Georgia somewhere. There could be a closure because of fire danger. So all of the Forest Service ranger offices are listed in there. You can just pick up the phone and call them and ask them about camping and what's required. And most of the time the camping's free in the National Forest, and a lot of areas they tell you, they're real helpful about that, and all of that information is in the claims guide, as well as what the other members find. We have a report in there that the guys fill out and they send back in, and that is really invaluable information. I mean, they tell you where that they found gold, and if you fill that report out and send it in, you'll be helping somebody else out. And all the gold you find out there is yours to keep. You don't have to share it with anybody. And if you want to make if you make a discovery and there's a whole bunch of gold, and some guys have done that, and you want to hold that for your own personal thing, there's ways to do that too. But the claims guide comes free with, the pick and shovel comes with the claims guide. It comes with a free accident insurance up to $5,000, from $50 up to $5,000. It's secondary insurance, but it's free with your claims guide, and it's worth every bit of it. Now, that claims guide sells for about $75. You add that to the regular membership of $24.50, and that's over $100, and you get the gold pan and everything with it. Well, there's something else I'm going to give you as part of our special. I'm going to give you this tape on panning. Now, let me tell you, if you can pan gold, if you're really good at panning gold, you got 50% of this hobby whipped, and you'll get gold every time you go out. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to get the kind of gold that I find every time I go out, but these guys that go fishing that tell you you're going to catch fish like they do, they're not telling the truth either. But if you get at it a long time and you get good at it and you know where to go, you're going to find a lot of gold in your career of prospecting, and that gold doesn't rot. You can keep it in the vault, and it's wealth. And a lot of us, if we get hard up, maybe we'll sell some of our gold bobbines, but if you can pan, you really got it whipped. And we're going to give you this tape on panning. It's got Blueberry John with his special blueberry bounce. This guy can take a gold pan and just kind of tip it like that and make that gold walk right up the side of the pan. You've got my method of tapping on there. We've got a mining engineer that tells you how the material stratifies. There's several different guys on there panning, and it's well worth the $30 that they sell them for, and that's going to be yours free when you call in, if you call in during the show. I can't urge you enough to get involved in prospecting. It's a great hobby. And when you're out there fishing and the fish are not biting, you can get your gold pan and maybe pick up some color, because a lot of guys do that. A lot of guys do it when they go hunting, and ladies too, and it's a really great thing. You start finding some gold, it's going to take on a whole new life for you. But the time is now to really get involved in prospecting. We need you. We need you to help tell the story about recreational mining and how that it's not all that bad to the environment, and that these kids in the city need something to do. And so get into prospecting. It's going to make you healthier. It's going to get you up off the chair, and it's really a great thing to do. But to get the special, you got to call in right now. So get up and give us a call. Put it on your credit card, or call them, tell them you'll send them a check or send it COD. But you got to call them in order to get that Buzzard special. You get the claims guide. You get the whole membership, including the gold pan and an invitation to all the outings and everything like that, the pick and shovel newspaper, the insurance, the video on panning, and the whole works. That's a heck of a deal. I wish that had been around when I started prospecting. Gosh, I started up on the St. Joe River in Idaho, and we didn't even have a good gold pan to work with when we started up there. We didn't know a whole lot, and if GPA had been around to help us, it would have made it a lot easier to get going. So do yourself a favor and get into the GPAA. I'd appreciate it. It's a great club to be into, and maybe I'll see you at one of the outings this year. I'll be at all of them. Maybe you want to go up to GPA's camp in Alaska next year. There's a whole lot of opportunities that open up for you and a whole lot of information, and it's just a great thing to be in. If you're interested in prospecting, get up now and give that 800 number a call, and I'll see you next week. God bless you, and thank you for tuning in. We got a great show lined up for you next week, so be sure and catch us. We'll be right back here at the same time, same place, and we're going to talk prospecting.
Are you a current GPAA member?
Do you push the snooze alarm in the morning? Do you drink more than one caffeine drink during the day? Do you feel like you need a nap in the daytime? Maybe the reason you feel so tired in the morning is because you're tossing and turning on an old-fashioned spring mattress at night. You deserve a good night's sleep, and that's just what you'll get with the Tempur-Pedic Swedish Sleep System, the only mattress using the gravity-defying Tempur material originally developed by NASA and certified by the Space Foundation.
It's like you're sleeping on a cloud.
Before I had trouble sleeping through the night, and now I don't have any problems at all.
Instead of uncomfortable metal springs, the Tempur-Pedic mattress uses billions of viscoelastic memory cells. This soft yet supportive material adjusts to every curve of your body, providing a weightless light sleep surface you have to feel to believe.
It really is magic.
It's like a gel that takes your body shape.
Oh, it's really comfortable. I could fall asleep right now. And wake me up in about 10 minutes.
And because Tempur-Pedic doesn't transfer motion, you'll never disturb your partner. Look how the glass doesn't tip over as Kelly moves about. Amazing, and not even a drop is spilled. Don't try that with a metal spring mattress.
I can get in and out of bed without him waking him up or without disturbing him at all.
So call now and we'll rush you this free information kit that includes a video explaining all about the features of the Tempur-Pedic Swedish Sleep System and a free sample of the amazing Tempur material. It will also tell you about the 20-year limited warranty and how you can try a Tempur-Pedic bed in your own bedroom free for an unheard of 4 full months. So call Tempur-Pedic now and see why Consumer Digest gave Tempur-Pedic its coveted Best Buy rating.
So call 1-800-919-0242 now for the good night's sleep you deserve. That's 1-800-919-0242.
Naturally, you're able to get the big nuggets out of your gold pan, but what about all that small stuff? If you're like most prospectors, you have pounds and pounds of black sand concentrates just waiting to be stripped of their fine gold. Here's the quick and easy way of getting the job done. Tom & Perry's Deluxe Cleanup Kit. It includes the one and only water-driven mini sluice, our tried and true 14-inch Gold Catcher gold pan, a 10-inch concentrate pan, 2 gold snuffer bottles, a 20-mesh concentrate sifter, and a black sands magnet to lift the magnetite away from all your fine gold. Plus, you'll receive the must-have mini cleanup kit, which consists of a vial, gold tweezers, and a pouch for small pickers and fine gold. But here's the best part, the all-important step-by-step black sands video to lead you through the simple process of working your fine gold out of your black sands. This product will easily pay for itself in a few uses. It's the fun way to prospect right in your own backyard. Call now to get your Deluxe Cleanup Kit, $39.95 plus shipping and handling while supplies last.
Hi, I'm Joel Petrowski, and I'm a member of the Gold Prospectors Association of America. And you can be a member also. First off, you'll get the Gold Catcher gold pan. It's got these riffles, which catch all the gold so you don't lose any of it. You also get the snuffer bottle, which is good for getting that fine gold. Surefire panning techniques. After watching this tape, you'll know how to pan for gold. The mining guide. It's got everything you need to know about every claim, how to get there. These claims are exclusive for GPAA members only. And it's also available on CD-ROM. You're going to get a subscription to the Pick and Shovel Gazette, which updates your mining guide. You're going to get membership decals and patches, a GPAA hat, Gold Prospector magazine, which is loaded with articles on how-to, places where you can find gold, and outdoor adventures. So call that 1-800 number, join the GPAA, and you'll be glad you did.
I packed in my job and I made up my mind to spend my life looking for gold. That old gold bug really bit me good and I'm doomed, so I've been told. I got metal detectors up the old yin-yang, a gold dredge and a four-wheel drive. I'd be better if you shot me, 'cause gold fever's really got me and I'm hooked as long as I'm alive. Go, 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 fever, ba, 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 go, 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 fever, ba, ba. I got vacuum cleaners guaranteed to suck gold like tornadoes suck up rocks for play. Special hammers for breaking up stuff, exposing nuggets to the light of day. With my long hip waders like old gumboot bills, a water bag and gold pans too. I'm loaded for bear and I'm headed out there. Come along if you're a hankering too. There's no easy vaccination for your baby hind. The bite isn't fatal, but to all else you're blind. You can put out the lights when the gold back bites, 'cause gold fever's got you.
Well, hola, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Tom Massey, and you're watching the Gold Fever Show. And we're in Old Mexico. Yes, we're south of the border. Gold knows no bounds. Like the good Lord put gold all over the planet. And we're down in Mexico, and this is a really unique area. We're about 100 miles outside of Ensenada, down on Baja, outside of a small town called El Alamo. And this area is rich with gold, a lot of gold mining. They first originally found gold in this area in the 1700s. The Spaniards were in here mining gold before the California gold rush, before any of that happened. They were in here in this particular area mining gold. A lot of gold's been taken out. Now recently, since NAFTA's come down the line and we've opened up some ground here in Mexico, and the Mexican government's loosened their hold on the ground. There's a Canadian firm that's moved into this area where we're at right now. On today's show, we got it packed. We got a lot of stuff on today's show, so you don't want to miss out on this one. We're going to be seeing some of the modern operations that they're operating down here, that Canadian firm that's in here, some of their gold digging. We're going to be doing some prospecting out here. We got John Vanis that's out here doing some metal detecting. We're going to be doing some kind of insight on some of these new metal detectors coming out. We've got some shafts that go back in here at different places. We're going to be taking a look at some lode mining. We've got a lot of history that just abounds in here. Maybe we'll bump shoulders with some of the old-timers that are still out here trudging around the hills and the different areas. Right over behind us here, we've got an old stamp mill, and I suspicion this old stamp mill was probably put there in 1880s, somewhere late 1880s, somewhere around in there. And we're going to be taking a look at that, and just tons of things out here to see. We can't cover it all. The mountain ranges back here, you know, these mountain ranges shoot up, and when they shoot up, that gold gets squirted in there with those coarse deposits, and it's out here. A lot of people think all the gold's been found, but I think this is one area that's just been overlooked, and are now just beginning to be rediscovered. That there's a lot of gold. This mountainside over here really reminds me of Red Mountain in the Mojave Deserts out in California. And you can see it's just got some mineralization to it just by the rock formations and stuff. And there's gold out here. So let's go over right now, and I'll show you that old stamp mill right over here. It's just right next to us. Whoo-wee, this is an old one. It's an old stamp mill. Now you hear about the stamp mills. This is one. What they do with this is they go up to the mountainside where they got their shafts and their tunnels and stuff where they're digging the rock out. They'll load that rock, bring it down here, and run it through this stamp mill. Now these big old piston-like things, it runs on this belt. This belt spins around, lifts those up, and they drop them down and just smashes and crushes that rock. By crushing up that rock, they liberate out those fine pieces of gold. There's small particles of gold stuck inside that rock. Sometimes there's big particles of gold stuck inside that rock. Now it comes down, and most likely in the olden days, what the old-timers used to do is they'd run it across the table and they'd put mercury out here. They'd spread it with mercury, coat this with mercury, and then as that fine powder stuff, I got some of it out here, you can see as that fine stuff comes across that table, that mercury just sucks that gold right in. It almost adheres to it. And then they'll take a scrape off the mercury, and that's got the gold contained in it, and that's called amalgam. And they'll take that amalgam and then burn that mercury off, and then they have their pure gold. They got their gold. Now, what a lot of the miners are doing nowadays is they're getting away from that mercury because it's kind of hard to deal with. They'll run it onto what they call a shaker table. They've got these big shaker tables that come right out of the crushers, and they use these ball crushers now and different types of crushers than these old stamp mill type crushers, and they'll run it across that table that just vibrates, and that separates out the gold for them. They don't have to deal with the mercury. But this is really neat to see this old stamp mill. The rock would come down, slide down the chute up above, hit these stamps, and it would just pulverize it and drop it out here, and they'd get the gold out of it. They got some of the old stuff. Here's a, looks like an old safe right here. Heck, they might even have some old gold bars in there, or maybe some other old ore still hanging around here. And a lot of nice old trunks they use for carrying this stuff around. This looks like almost like an old safe sitting here. I want to take you down and show you some of this stuff out here after it comes out across the tailings that they're dumping out here. Here's some of the rock that didn't quite get crushed up. A lot of times when they get the rock dumping in here, it'll be about this size after they blast it. They use dynamite and they blast it up. It comes out around this size, and before it goes in the stamp mill, a lot of times it spills off and gets spread around in different places, gets a little sloppy. But this stuff out here, this is after they've run it. This is their tailings. And you can see it just turns it into almost like a fine sand. That's how fine that those stamp mills crush this stuff up. It's just a fine powder sand. Now you can see some of the black sand. A lot of people wonder where's this black sand come from? Well, you got this rock right here, and you can see the quartz. It's inside this rock, the quartz stringers that's in there, and the gold gets shot in right in between the seams of these quartz and the country rock, and it gets shot in between there, and then you get black sand that's inside this rock also. And as you crush it, it liberates out that black sand and also liberates out the gold. Now I'm looking at this. This is where they dumped out a lot of the tailings that come across their plate, but there's some black sand that the wind has been blowing in here and left some of this black sand right on the surface, and I'm just curious to see what's in this stuff. So I'm going to get me a pan full of it, and we'll take it down to the creek and pan this out. We'll take a look and see what's in there. And right now, I want to take you up to the actual place where they've got the tunnels and the shafts where this stuff comes out of. And we'll take a look in backside there and see where they were getting this rock. Real interesting stuff. I'm curious to see what we get out of this. if you notice, I'm missing my four-wheeler out of the back. I usually carry my four-wheeler up to these parts with me in case it gets too rough for the four-wheel drive. We can just hop in the four-wheeler and make our way. But I set the four-wheeler up to Nome, up there to Alaska. We're going to be heading up there for the summertime. But we're down here in Mexico checking out some of these new gold fields down here. And you can see we got a nice view up here. We got the mine back over there, but you can see from here the town of El Alamo down there, a bustling metropolis. Boy, that's a major city out here in the deserts of Baja California, and you can just see it's just populated like heck down here. If you look out over here, you can see there's another stamp mill, an old stamp mill that's all busted down, one of the older ones, and down below it they've got a kind of an open pit operation, and they're digging down. They've had a shaft that went down, and there's all kinds of tunnels that go underneath there. Now, there's a lot of exploration going on. They've got some drill rigs. They're drilling. They're making core samples down. They're testing the ground. They're proving up the minerals in the area. They've got those drill rigs running all over the place. They've got that operation where they're digging down there in that pit, and they're drilling it out and blasting and trying to open and clean that all out. Pump a lot of water. They've got water that's in here. A lot of times when you're mining, you run into that water, and that can cause you some problems. So they're pumping that water out, drilling, opening, and cleaning all those shafts and stuff out. Most likely, usually what happens is they'll open pit that and eventually wind up heap leaching it, but they're still in the exploration stages out there right now. It's just magnificent view out there. Boy, this prospecting gets you out in a lot of really neat places. Just spectacular. Let's go back now and take a look at this old mine over here, see what we got. Boy, this is an interesting deal here. Looks like got a pit here. They probably dug this out for water and abandoned this mine. They put in this concrete thing here. So this looks like, I'm guessing, probably late 1900s when this shaft went in. They put a door on it. Most likely this door was put on here because they had some good ore back there. They didn't want anybody high grading on them. But it looks like it's open today. And this is a pretty remote area out here. Ain't been too many people back in here. You got to be really careful when you see these old mines out there. I don't recommend anybody going back in them. I've been prospecting all my life. I've seen lots of these shafts and stuff. Some of them you just can't go back in. They're just too dangerous. And it's real easy for one of these to cave in on a guy. We're going to take a look here and see what she looks like back inside. Ooh-wee. That's always interesting. Can't help myself. I got to go back inside and see what's in there. Boy, this is something. They put this concrete up here to fortify and to hold up right around the porthole here, because this is loose stuff. Boy, I shouldn't even be doing that. It gets loose out here. It decomposes when it gets exposed to the air. And you can see the ore body that they're following back right here. Now, a lot of people ask, well, how the heck, do they get started on a mine? How do they find a mine like that? Well, they see an outcropping that's right on the surface, and then they start running this shaft on back. This is real interesting in here. Close that so we get a lot of creepy crawlers around the front. That's where you usually run into your snakes and your scorpions. A lot of critters like coming back in here because it's cool, and they'll come back in here and nest up and den up in here, so you got to be real careful right around the front. So let's go back in here and take a look, see what we got. Boy, you got to be careful back in here. You can see this is their, I don't want that to cave in. This is their ore body. It's kind of fractured and busted, but they were following back. And it looks real interesting. I got some kind of a nest back in here. I don't know what that is. I think I'll just leave that alone. And here, you can see she's caved in. Got a lot of rocks. Now, you see this rock right here. If that baby was to come down on you, it'd give you one heck of a headache. And I don't want one of those to come down on me. I ain't got a hard hat. I got one of these GPA caps. And it'd sure split my head wide open if one of these rocks comes down in here. And that's the real danger about coming back in these mines. So we're going to be real quiet and see about slipping past this. I've got my expensive ore bag here, and I'm going to be collecting up some samples. I already found a sample earlier that I wanted to save, and we'll see if we can get some nice samples out of this mine. Let's work back on past this cave-in spot. Past this spot. Oh, there's a shaft going back here. Boy, you know, you got to really watch out for bats. A lot of bats back in these mines and stuff. And I tell you, when those bats start to fly around, you carry your rabies and they can give you a real fright when you start bumping off of you. Quite a lot of fractured rock back in there. Now, this was a poor boy mine. What I mean by poor boy is they didn't have a lot of money. You could tell the size of their shaft. They didn't open it up. They were just following the ore vein. As we get back to the back part, I'll show you some of the drill holes where they drill and use dynamite and blast this stuff out and haul this ore down to their mill that we saw earlier down the hill. I'm going to work my way on back. Pretty far back here, another nice shot of the ore body. It's starting to turn nice white quartz. You could see sometimes you even catch a glimpse of visible gold right on this quartz. Boy, this is interesting. You can see right where it's meeting up. Right here's your rock and it's fracturing off, and that's what they had. That's their ore body right there. Move on back. Well, this looks like where she petered out on them. Now, you can see their ore body here. It just got into a fine sliver, the stuff that they were working on. And what happens is you get a vein that comes back in and then it fractures and it moves over this way or it moves over that way. Now, in this rock, you can't tell. The vein might open up into a good 3-foot wide, rich ore vein just 2 feet over. But the old-timers, and even nowadays, you can't tell where that vein's fractured and moved underneath the ground here. So when it petered out on them, a lot of times they'll drive shafts down and they'll even move in different directions where they ain't got no gold, but they're just looking for that rich ore vein again. And a lot of times there's pockets. They'll come along and they'll move through a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't have a whole lot of pay, and then he'll hit a pocket back in there that's got visible golden nuggets just right inside the rock. Just gold laden right inside of it. And that can be just maybe another 2 feet from where we're at right now. And you can see a hole right here. It looks almost like a mouse hole. What they do is they take a drill back in here, and they drill a hole, or they use the old guys, they'd use just a sledge, and they'd hammer out these holes into the rock, and then they'd put dynamite down in there and blast. Now, they weren't using a whole lot of dynamite, because dynamite is expensive back here, so they'd do just enough to move their shaft forward. It looks to me like they didn't even have tracks. They had some kind of wheelbarrow. This is a real poor boy mine. But a guy can make a lot of gold back in here, but they didn't have a lot of grub stakes to operate this baby. And this is just fascinating to get back inside some of these old mines and see the history and stuff. And, you know, it may seem pretty technical. You know, you look at it and, man, I could never do that. But it's pretty inexpensive, you know. Just a little bit of powder back here is all the expense that they had, and then a little bit of diesel to run their crusher down there. And that's it. The rest of it was all manpower. And they'd come back in here with picks, and they'd pick out all the stuff that wasn't blasted, and then they'd haul it down there and sledge up the stuff that wasn't crushed quite enough and run it through their stamp mill and get the gold out. And a lot of guys during the Depression, you know, they didn't have jobs. This was always work available. And sometimes you get good gold, sometimes you get just enough to make it pay. Well, I'm going to collect up some of these samples back in here. And while I do that, we got to take a commercial break. And boy, there's a lot of nice looking samples in here. Just laying right here on the floor. Boy, you see how their vein just got real thin back in here. It's all fractured, busted apart. I'm going to take some of this stuff out and see what it looks like. So we'll be back. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to be going over and seeing some of the more placer operations and looking at some more of the prospecting grounds out here around El Alamo and down in Old Mexico.
Go, 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 pee, ba, 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 go, 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 go.
Do you enjoy the outdoors? Would you like to find some gold? What if you could find gold while enjoying the outdoors? Maybe you've been fishing in a creek, driving through the desert, or hiking in an area where gold was right under your feet. Gold prospectors and treasure hunters in the Great Outdoors magazine can help give you the potential to find gold and other treasures absolutely free. You've heard right. We know you'll enjoy the experience of reading this unique outdoor magazine, so we are giving you a trial issue free. Your free issue includes full-color photos and stories about signs to look for, areas where gold is being found, how to dig it up, product reviews, and historical treasure legends. But that's not all. This free issue also includes a how-to segment, a step-by-step instruction that teaches prospecting method and how you can build your own gold finding gear. With this issue, you can have the knowledge of gold prospecting and treasure hunting for free. Dial 1-800-551-9707 to receive a free issue of Gold Prospectors and Treasure Hunters in the Great Outdoors magazine, the magazine for every outdoor enthusiast.
Hi, Billy Mays here, and I'm about to do something I've never done before. Shave off my thick beard with the all-new, incredibly powerful MicroTouch Turbo. Stay tuned. What if you could go from hair growing everywhere to perfectly groomed everywhere in seconds? Well, now you can with the all-new MicroTouch Turbo. It comes packed with 50% more power and German stainless steel blades. It's the little grooming tool that replaces all these big, bulky trimmers and does it with micro precision. It gives you the power to keep the back of your neck barbershop perfect by yourself. It's designed for precision grooming anywhere. Remove unsightly ear hair and get rid of embarrassing nose hair with just a touch. The MicroTouch Turbo is the one tool powerful enough for any job. No matter how thick the beard, no matter how coarse the hair, no matter how fast it grows, it gets rid of it just like that. You see, that's me before, and this is the new me with the perfectly groomed look I got with the MicroTouch Turbo. Remember, it's the only micro tool with turbo power. Call now and get the all-new MicroTouch Turbo, now with 50% more power and German stainless steel blades. A $40 value for only $14.99. We'll also include our turbo cell battery and grooming attachment at no additional charge. It's perfect for trimming bushy eyebrows and sideburns mistake-free. But call right now, and you'll also get our deluxe 10-piece grooming kit. It comes with every grooming tool you need to always look your best. A $30 value, yours free. That's right, you get it all. The all-new MicroTouch Turbo, the grooming attachment, the turbo cell battery, and the 10-piece grooming kit. A $70 value for only $14.99. But you gotta call now.
To order MicroTouch, call 1-800-319-4805. That's 1-800-319-4805. So don't delay. Call 1-800-319-4805.
Well, welcome back. You can take a look at some of the smaller commercial operations going on out here. This is an older plant, and they've just retired this plant. And they load into the top with the gold-bearing material, drops down into this trommel. And usually there's a grizzly system where they grizzly off the larger rocks, and this takes it down to a smaller size. By classifying it, they get better recovery off the finer particles of gold that go in here. It drops down into our sluice box and runs over riffle trays and on out. Now they're in the process of modernizing, upgrading the operation here. I guess they've been getting a lot of gold to be able to sink the money into getting a plant such as this over here where they'll be able to run more material. Yeah, these trommels and operations like this don't come cheap. So, you know, there must be pulling out a goodly amount of gold to put in an operation such as this. This is a big trommel right here, a big drum, and it spins around. The rocks and material fall in here, get classified out. The smaller stuff drops down into their primary sluice box here. The larger stuff goes down and shoots out this stacker and then gets hauled away. Material comes down through the sluice box. They got carpet in here, indoor, outdoor carpet, and these are cleaned up maybe once a week depending on how much gold they're getting, maybe every 3 or 4 days or so. As it travels down through the sluice box, the gold gets trapped in here, hits this screen deck right down here, and as it's screened off, they take off the larger size rocks, and that sends it off through this chute over here. Most likely they'll have a sluice box in this chute for nugget catch, and then it drops through the screening deck, and they haven't gotten in place right now. They're leveling it up. They've got a Nelson concentrator over there, and that's a centrifuge. And inside there, it spins around, and the centrifugal force, it's almost like a washer machine and spin cycle. It sits there and spins around real fast, and that increases the specific gravity and just makes the material stick to the side. It just pins it up to the side, and it separates it out, and the gold will separate in there with the water jets going in there, and through that centrifugal force, it increases the specific gravity of the gold and drops out the gold, and then it comes out, and then they'll take those supercons and they'll take it back to their gold room and clean out that pretty nice yellow gold. I wish we could get these guys to let us into their gold room to see some of their gold, but they're in the process for right now of getting this operation set up, and they're a little bit shaky about letting us in to see the gold in the gold room. But this is a neat operation to see how it's done on a larger scale. We're going to be doing it on a little bit smaller scale, and I'm looking for a couple of buddies of mine that are back here over in the hills, so let's go looking for those guys doing a little metal detecting. Hey, Prospector John, how you doing?
Tom, it's nice to see you out here in the wilds of Baja, California, Old Mexico.
You having much luck?
Well, you know, I told you I was going to bring one of these new Lobo Super Tracks out here. You know, this ground out here is real highly mineralized, and this Lobo Super Track's got automatic ground balance, and a lazy guy like me doesn't like to have to turn those knobs all the time, and I could just turn the one switch, set the threshold and run, and the machine's going to automatically ground balance for me, so I can come out to a highly mineralized area like this here in Baja, California, and find some gold. Well, I did find one little piece. Where did I put it? Got it here in the bottle. Not a big one, but found it right over there. I thought this would be an area to start working up the creek.
Well, where there's one, there's more.
That's a fact. That's a fact. It's a nice little piece.
Well, some of the viewers out there may not, you know, understand what he's talking about ground balancing, but you got a lot of minerals out there in the ground. And 10 years ago, metal detectors have come leaps and bounds since then. And these newer metal detectors, you have to balance the frequencies in the metal detectors to the ground, and you're constantly switching and trying to balance it. And I guess from what you say, this one here
Yeah.
does it automatically.
Yeah, this
And
this one's got a,
eliminates the problems of continually trying to ground balance.
that's because the machine's got a microprocessor in it. It's constantly balancing itself. It's got an alkali, normal soil, and a black sand mode also, which if you get out of normal, it decreases your sensitivity. You don't find as many small pieces. But if you get into those really hot ground like in Manhattan, Nevada, you know, where it's all alkali soil, you can even pick it up and taste the salt. You can still use a machine like this to find the gold there, where a lot of other machines won't be able to get through that